The hill country section of the Tel Aviv to Jerusalem highway is currently under renovation. The following aerial videos move from west to east, showing some major parts of the highway. We start where the highway comes through the Ajalon Valley and begins the ascent into the hill country of Judah. The road turning south toward Bet Shemesh is on the lower right-hand side of the screen, but we are heading east. The highway ascending to Jerusalem is being widened from 4 lanes to 6 lanes, 3 lanes each direction. This involves an enormous amount of cutting into the limestone hills, creating the white-colored terraces seen all along the road. Continuing the ascent, this is where the road from Bet Shemesh joins the highway. Here the road foundation layer can be seen in preparation for straightening one of the many curves in the highway. The highway continues up the ascent through forests of pine, cypress, and oak trees. This section of the highway is known as the Shoresh Ascent, where the highway finally climbs out of the narrow valley onto a ridge. In antiquity, the route to Jerusalem didn't travel in this valley, but stayed on a ridge, somewhat like the white gravel road on the ridge to the left above the modern highway. In the upper right of the screen on the high hill is the town called Shoresh, called Mount Seir in biblical times. It was a marker for the northern border of the tribal allotment of Judah. Under construction here is a 70-meter wide echo bridge and tunnel that will allow wildlife to pass from one side of the highway to the other. Here is the Shoresh Junction, where the modern highway is finally on the ridge. In 1948, the famous Burma Road joined the main highway here. This bridge and tunnel were opened in 2002. In the distance, the white buildings at the top of the screen is the town called Kiryat Jearim. Under construction here is the Cloverleaf Junction at Kiryat Jearim. We are still about 10 miles or 16 kilometers west of Jerusalem. Kiryat Jearim is an important biblical site. The Ark of the Covenant stayed in the town for some 100 years, until King David brought it to Jerusalem. Until the mid-1970s, the Jerusalem-Tel Aviv road followed the curve to the left, going through the Arab-Israeli town called Abu Ghosh, partially visible in the upper left. Because of the increasing vehicle traffic, the straight continuation of the highway was built to bypass Abu Ghosh. The highway descends into the Kesalon Valley. That's the Abu Ghosh village on the left. Unfortunately, when the highway was built in the 1970s, this section of the highway was quarried through the hill instead of cutting a tunnel. Now, with the widening of the road, a huge gouge has been taken out of the hill. Behind us at Kiryat Jearim, the elevation was 715 meters above sea level. The road drops over 100 meters into the Kesalon Valley. Tons of fill has been laid to raise the level of the valley floor. Now the ascent out of the Kesalon Valley. Note the openings of 2 tunnels through which the highway will pass under the modern town of Mevaseret. The tunnels are to be 700 meters long. In the Bible, this ridge is called Mount Ephron, which is along the border between the tribes of Judah and Benjamin. In fact, the modern highway from Kiryat Jearim to Jerusalem follows right along the border between the allotments of Judah to our right and Benjamin to our left. The Mevaseret shopping mall is on the left. A new mall, named after the grocery store Rami Levy, is under construction here on the right. Looking down the main highway is the dirt where the tunnels emerge from the hill. Here is another view showing the descent of the highway into the Sorek Valley that flanks the western side of Jerusalem. The outskirts of Jerusalem are visible on the horizon. For just a moment, we reverse direction, coming out of the Sorek Valley heading west to see the amount of fill being dumped in preparation for the road coming in and out of the valley. Now heading east again, from Mevaseret into the Sorek Valley is a 550-foot drop, 170 meters. In the bottom of the valley are the pylons which will support a 6-lane bridge designed to straighten the curve in the highway known locally as the Motza Death Bend. A section of the bridge is taking shape. The bridge will join the highway on the final ascent to Jerusalem, which is visible on the horizon. The Jerusalem highway ascends along the bridge, an upper road in this picture. The road below it descends back into the valley and passes by Jerusalem's north side. The pylons are the beginnings of a bridge for a high-speed train that will connect Jerusalem and Tel Aviv. For those familiar with the Satellite Bible Atlas, the area of the Jerusalem Highway construction can be seen on map 1-8. The Tel Aviv-Jerusalem Highway comes through the Ajalon Valley in the Shfela. Our video starts at the seam between the Shfela and Hill Country at a place today called Sha'ar Hagai, meaning the Gate of the Valley. The modern highway is visible on the map as a thin white strip. Our video follows the modern highway ascending up past Shoresh, biblical Mount Seir, to Kiryat Jearim. Remember that Jerusalem is separated from Kiryat Jearim by two deep valleys, the Kesalon Valley and the even deeper Upper Sorek. The highway descends into the Kesalon Valley and then up to Mount Ephron, modern Mevaseret. Here the tunnels will take the road to the other side of the ridge and then down into the Upper Sorek Valley, where the 800-meter bridge will span the valley before the highway makes its final ascent into Jerusalem.